Hi, Gil from Testing Gil here. Today I want to talk to you about knowledge and where it goes after you walked away from the code. Sounds confusing? Stay with me. Okay, let's look at an example. Here's an app. As you can plainly see, this is a registration app, but we're going to focus on two features. The first feature is checking the I read all the terms checkbox enables the button. Unchecking it disables the button. I mean, you can't register if you haven't enjoyed reading the whole term sheet, right? The next feature is about the error message. If I leave all the text boxes empty and press the button, I'll get an error message. You can't register if you haven't given all the details, right? Once the error appeared, typing anything in one of the boxes clears the error. It's a usability feature. It's like the software reads your mind. And once it showed you the error, it knows you won't do that error again, right? Right? Okay, what's the common thread between these two features? I can see that it's not clear yet, so let me show you some tests. Here's a test for enabling the button. It's pretty clear, right? It checks the terms checkbox, checks that the button is enabled, then unchecks the terms checkbox, and checks that the button is disabled. So reading the test, you can actually read the application logic in it. You cannot register if you haven't checked the term checkbox. You can actually read that in the test. It's using its own words, but we can see that. Okay, let's take a look at the test for the error messages. What have we got here? We can see the different operations, but some context is missing. Let me clear that up a bit. That's better. Now we have more context about what's happening here. Now we can tell we're starting off with checking the terms checkbox, because otherwise we won't be able to get to the point where the button is enabled to check the error. Then we explain that we don't do anything with the text boxes because they start off empty and therefore will produce the error once we click the button. So what's the common thread here again? Well, really, it's about the things we know and we assume other people will know too. And that includes us in the future. How the application behaves and how its behavior is tied to the way it's built. We always say that tests are really documentation of the code, but no one guarantees it's good documentation. We miss the connections, we miss the contexts, everything I needed to explain in the comments. Imagine you saw this test without the comments in 2 months' time. Would you remember all the connections and the related behaviors? Comments help. I can also refactor the code and explain without comments the same ideas. When we do test reviews, assume that you won't remember everything that you know now. Use the tests to tell the story. The best way to do this is to get someone who doesn't know enough about the code to review the test. Someone who's not connected directly to the work and can tell you if the story makes sense to them or not. They will tell you. We think that the next time we'll see the tests and the code will be in the same mode that we are now. Let's assume we're not going to be that, and let the tests help you remember. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and in the comments below, tell me about the worst test that you've ever seen that didn't tell a story, but just a frightful mess of a nightmare. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.